Gotta get comfortable. Hey, look at this sign.
Unsolicited.
That's the
pretty
name.
much-
That's the name. We changed it.
Yeah. the
Or you
plan-
changed it. You wanted.
Unsolicited. Our plans are usually unsolicited. Our advice is unsolicited. The podcast is unsolicited because nobody ever really asks. We just kind of put it out there, right?
But as you said one time, full discretion is advised.
Full discretion. Yes. Full discretion. Unsolicited full discretion exercised.
F596 form.
Yes. Always on file.
Anyway, change the name to Unsolicited. I like it for the very reasons you said. It is a podcast with two financial advisors. Meet Anthony
Offering-
Ruffalo, CFP certified. Do it.
Certified financial planner.
Keith Wilson, certified
Village idiot.
village idiot. Financial advisor. Let's just call me.
Keith,
Financial
I feel like
advisor.
your qualifications, you've kind of just met the experience requirement.
I know. I was about to say after
Like if there was an
30 years.
if there was an exemption to CFP credentials because you've earned it and lived it, it's probably you.
I appreciate that. Probably. Well, I think I appreciate that.
You should
You're
appreciate
saying
it.
I'm old, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean that goes without saying because it's evident. All right, what are we talking about today?
The financial plan. What did we call this? The insurance broker dealer
Conundrum.
And you are very passionate about this subject. It shows up on your LinkedIn post and your experience and your background. Mine too.
Yeah.
I'm passionate about it too, but you get people calling you all the time about this.
Yeah, I was just thinking about it, and I figured let's talk about it because I had another call. It was like last week from a young kid, probably in his late 20s. He's 4 years in. He's at an insurance-based broker dealer. He's doing managed money, but he's also doing the life and the annuity, and he's asking all the right questions, and it's just inevitable. Like what eventually happens is, they want to do certain things, and the insurance-based broker dealers pretty much have you on lockdown with how you want to build your business, where you can take it, and then there's the management structure that is always geared towards selling proprietary product. For instance, one of the things that he had mentioned, which is one of the things we've done in our Truthful Mutual videos, is he's like, we have this extensive financial planning process, and I go through it. He's like, but it always ends with some form of our proprietary annuity and proprietary life insurance product as the solution. And not that there's anything wrong with life and annuity, because I certainly do life and annuity business, but when you're at the insurance-based broker dealer, you have to understand that your upline management, their compensation and their bonuses and their metrics are based on what the team is doing in the company-based product. And that's where the conflict of interest comes from.
That's where the conundrum comes in.
The conundrum.
Let's talk about the difference in these business models. I mean, you got fee-based, fee-only, advice but no custody, RIA, registered investment advisor, custody but no compliance there, part of an RIA, and corporate independent. Go over those.
Yeah, and there's probably even more business model, but for the three people that are listening, let's just go over. So,
my daughter's probably listening? Because I told her I'd pay her.
Yeah, and she needs to butter you up later, hit you up. So what is fee-based? Fee-based is people that charge an AU assets under management as opposed to transactional commissions. That's typically what you advertise yourself. Oh, I'm a fee-based planner.
Well, wouldn't you say fee-based is also a mixture? If you're going to offer life insurance, if you're going to offer annuities, and at the same time charge a fee for AUM. My understanding, that's where fee-based, it's based on a fee. But it's a combination of those two.
That's a hybrid structure.
Right.
But in order to advertise as a fee-based person, you're getting most of your fees from AUM, an AUM type structure. See where it already gets complicated. Whereas fee only, if you're fee only, it means you're only charging
flat dollar
either
amount.
a flat dollar amount or an asset under management charge. And then there's fixed flat fee. So fixed flat fee is when you say, I'm paying this exact dollar amount, no more, no less, for the year, whatever that is. So you could say,
somebody's charging, I'm going to charge you $10,000 to be your financial planner, financial advisor, which would encompass, I'm going to manage your assets. I'm going to give financial planning, tax strategies, things like that. And a flat dollar amount. Maybe it's 10 grand a year, something like that. So somebody could have $15 million. That's a pretty good deal for them.
Could be.
Not so good of a deal if they have 500,000.
Yeah. All it is a business model. I am a believer in free markets and capital. And I think one of the core reasons when you rewind, a lot of financial advisors became financial advisors is because of the entrepreneurial spirit. As an entrepreneur, I think everybody should be free to build their business however they see fit, as long as they're doing the right thing for clients.
And then competition will itself out.
Whatever model you want to use is fine. Whether that be fee based, whether that be fee only, whether that be fixed flat fee only, whether that be commission, that's fine. You build with subscription fee, whatever you want to build and have at it. I think anybody can be success. Again, you're going to be measured by, I think success is really measured by, are you doing the right thing for your clients? And if you are, I'm a firm believer in, if you're doing the right thing, eventually your clients will find out. And if you're doing the wrong thing, eventually your clients will find out. And they will vote with their wallets. Just like, I think Sam Walton said that. The best part of capitalism is the consumer gets to vote immediately with their wallets.
What about some of the insurance broker-dealers? Can we name names?
Yeah, I don't see. I mean, you've got Equitable, you've got Mass Mutual, you've got Northwestern Mutual, you've got New York Life. Who else is there? Those are like the big ones.
Yeah, Prudential.
Prudential.
You were with Equitable one time, weren't you?
I was with Equitable for 3 years, and they're all fantastic. Like they're all great places. They all have good products, and you can be successful at any one of those places. However, if you go and you talk to a 25 or a 30-year veteran at one of those places, they're going to tell you, hey, there are things that I'd like to do that I can't do. And that's just because of some of the constraints that they place on you. Where 25 or 30 years ago, you didn't necessarily need to do that in order to build a business. But in today's environment, for the younger people coming up and starting, you absolutely, I think you need to do things differently. For example, and this is something I know you do, Mr. Wilson, is tax planning. So not just tax planning in the sense of like, oh, when you withdraw from an IRA, you got to withhold X percentage and that's your tax planning. No, I mean actual tax returns.
Tax returns.
And I'm a firm believer in that one of the best ways for a young advisor to start in this business is to either get a PTIN number, learn how to do basic 1040 tax prep, or go do your EA and figure out and start building the tax side of the business to build your knowledge base, to start working with clients, to build your credibility in the beginning. And I think, and one of the issues is that at the insurance-based broker-dealers, their compliance requirements are much stricter because they're older, more archaic compliance departments. And I've been told that they not allowed to touch any of that stuff. So that's what I'm saying. It's not it's not that they're bad places by any means, because I know some fantastic advisors at those places that I'm friends with, and I think they do a great job. But it's for the younger people coming up, that's one of the common themes that
They feel restricted.
And the other is, marketing, is that a lot of those firms are very restrictive with what you can do in the marketing space.
Thus, that's why you're big time on LinkedIn.
Not well. I don't
I
know
would
about-
say you are.
No, I wouldn't say that.
You're an influenza. You're an influenza on LinkedIn.
I write for me, not for them.
But it attracts a lot of attention from young advisors, and I know you've told me before. You get a lot of phone calls, direct messages, and with questions. How should I start? Should I start an RIA? Should I join one? Should I go with an independent? What are some of the questions they're asking, and how are you giving them, things to consider?
Well, just like when you work with a client, well, first of all, let me say that I have no vested interest. I'm not recruiting. I'm not building an RIA. I'm not pulling people over. I'm not referring anybody anywhere. I literally make zero compensate. I have no vested interest whatsoever where anybody goes or what anybody does.
Is that because the way you were brought up, or the way you started, and then your eyes were wide open and said, "Hey"?
No, I'm talking about using a social media platform, and I don't want people to think that I'm putting out content because I'm trying to recruit or
You're just
profit.
Truly helping.
I'm just giving, this has just been my experience, and then I kind of have my fingers on the pulse of the industry. So, and I think that just gives me more credibility, because we don't have a dog in the fight. It's just, hey, listen, we're just two guys have done it, and just this has been the experience. So just like working with clients with financial planning or investment, whatever their goals are, I'd say start with the end in mind and reverse engineer, where do you want to be? And not 30 years from now, but 5 years from now, where do you want to be? So, and what does that look like? What are the things that you want to do that you can't do? And then that will dictate, where you should go. What type of business do you do? Are you a big life and annuity guy, and you believe in that, and you want to just continue to do life and annuity? Well, then that's fine. Then stay where you are. Because let me tell you, using a general agent and having your business processed through a third party it sucks. I've had nothing but horrible experiences in that space, especially coming from when I was at Equitable. I could bring in an application and have it processed within like 4 days and a policy in my hands. So if it's knowing what type of business that you want to be in and what your business mix is. And I'm not here to tell you
which one to go with. Or
I'm not the moral police telling you what's better or worse. It's you build what you want to build for you.
What should young advisors that are thinking of making a change in some form or fashion, what should they consider if they are thinking, I want to start my own RIA?
So I would say, well, if you want to start your own RIA, what's your fee billing? How are you going to earn revenue? Right? So is it going to be flat fee? Is it going to be subscription fee? Is it going to be percent AUM? Is it going to be transactional, commission based? And then that will tell you how to set up your RIA.
Or they could just join one.
Or they could plug into one.
I want to change gears and wrap this up with this. We met each other 2018, 2019.
Yes.
Somewhere around there.
Yes.
I'm going somewhere with this. You probably know where I'm going.
No, where are you going?
I think, in my mind, it was kind of the start of financial advisors putting out digital content, in the form of video.
Yes, we started that.
And nobody was really doing it. And I didn't know you until I saw you on LinkedIn, and we were producing videos at the same time, financially related videos. Then we would, put a little twist on it, hopefully funny.
Yeah.
And somewhat became a competition.
A little bit.
And then I don't know, I think I reached out to you first.
I don't remember.
I don't know, either a direct message or... Oh, I know what it was, Anthony. You posted something about some new regulation on IRA or something like that. And it was you got it wrong.
I don't remember that.
I know. I forgot the topic, but that's when I direct messaged you and I said, actually, it's this. And you said something.
Well, I don't
quickly.
recall being wrong.
No, you were wrong because you said, oh, expletive, I need to go delete that or change it. And that was my little dig on you because I kept seeing you. I said, man, who is this guy? And then somehow we got collaborated up.
I feel like you're gaslighting me right now.
No.
That's the hot term that the Gen Zers use.
Then we talked about something. Oh, and then I was critical of you. You did some video with your jumpsuits, and you were snapping your fingers, and all of a sudden the outfits changed through editing. Because I was still am, big time into editing and having fun with it.
Yeah.
I said, who is this guy
I had no idea what I was doing with editing.
I know. And I think I called you on that. And then that night you posted a video making fun of me.
I remember that one. That was one. I was like, "What is this idiot doing?"
Oh, I did
it was about your process.
Yeah, it was about my process.
And I remember you jumping into your bed with Post-it notes.
Right,
I'm like,
right.
This cannot be left unchecked.
It was about my process and how I go about making videos.
Yeah, I'm like,
it was a spoof. It was sarcasm, but I had fun with it. Jumping into bed with my boxers or things like that, and then you retaliated.
Yeah.
With something and just.
I wasn't being vicious about it.
No.
It was fun. I was just poking fun. I was like, I also have a process, Keith.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, and then I remember I made that video, and then you videoed the video, and you responded
I retaliated.
to it, and you were doing, and I didn't know. I was so new to the video making process. I'm like, how is he doing this? How is he editing?
Anthony, when I woke up, it was one of those times. If I wake up at 3:00 and I just can't get it. So I just got up, and it's something you did the night before, and I saw it on LinkedIn, and I said, oh no. So I did a video right then and there in my robe.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And sitting on the couch and editing and shooting to retaliate. And I said at the end of that video, because it was, snapping back at you, and I said, maybe we should have a collaboration.
That's right. And then it all came together.
Thus, that was born. The first one, I was making these videos on The Office. Mm-hmm. And I was wrapping financial topics in it, but I was like a Michael Scott character. My assistant was a Pam, and I had done a couple little episodes that were good. And then I asked you to come down. I said, I've got a part in this next one where you were, David? Who was the regional?
Yeah, David, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, anyway.
The senior guy who's always like Michael's boss.
And I thought it would be cool because you were really big on LinkedIn, and I said, what a cameo you would be. And you did it. You were very, very gracious to come down and do that. But here's where I'm going with all of this. After we shot it, we're sitting in the conference room, and you had a yellow pad out with all these little scribbled notes. And you said, I got an idea. Let's pretend you're the president of a broker-dealer, and I'm the president of an insurance company, and we're going to talk about how we need to recruit people to sell our products. And I had no idea where you were going, and you even said, just play along.
Yeah, because
we need to show that at some time, because if you'll see on my face, I'm just looking at you and I'm playing a part, and I'm thinking, what is he saying?
Yeah, but
and then I just would chime in. Brilliant,
because you've been around for 25 years. You knew exactly where I was going. You just needed. You're like, oh, okay, got it. Yeah, got it.
Let's go to the college and hire all the kids.
Yeah, because it's
they
the
have no
same old,
life experience. They won't know. They'll just, we're going to get all the overrides.
it's the same model recycled
And
over and over and over again.
I mean, that video was probably 2 minutes long.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just us in the
I
conference
edited
room.
that one.
And it was just us going back and forth. And from that, Truthful Mutual
was born.
And that sparked something in you. And it's that, because you wrote this big script, I don't know, several months later. And it was grandioso. You had actual characters and all of this. And I came down to see you, and we actually filmed it in
I think it was in the LPL office.
LPL, one of their big conference rooms.
That was before they knew what we were doing.
And it was just basically us having a training session
Yeah.
with these recruits and just lighten them up, because they would say, are we going to do financial planning? No.
Right.
Does it say H&R Block on the, no, we're not going to do all that.
Financial planning. What is that?
Yeah. It was just us pushing annuities or life insurance and showing them all of that. And then series after series. But the inspiration, maybe you know what, I should put up a YouTube channel, and I think we got 10 or 11 of them. And they got better and better and better each time, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think they were pretty good. I don't know. What's happened is that social media works, and just for me, like, my business has more than tripled, and that was the original intent was, I'm going to do social media because I want to grow. I want to grow my business. I wanted, I knew video was the way to grow, and I've more than tripled the size of the business in 5 years. And now it's like I'm just a victim of my own success. I don't have time to have fun anymore, because I used to have a lot of fun. It was a creative outlet. I used to be editing at night and then filming stuff and scripting things. And now I'm just, by the time I get home, I mean, my days are just packed, like solid, with clients, and I'm just exhausted. And it kind of like saps your creativity. And then I got, I got a 5 and an 8-year-old at home, so. When I get home at 5 or 6, whenever that is, and then from, I only got 3 hours with them, because then, then it's bedtime. 9 o'clock rolls around and I'm just shot.
You got to, every once in a while, you got to put out something that you have fun with. But the inspiration of the Truthful Mutual is our backgrounds. Both of us, I came from insurance broker-dealer.
Yeah.
The broker-dealer was owned by an insurance company. And I wanted to do financial planning. I wanted to do advisory accounts. And they didn't have a super good platform. In fact, I showed them what I wanted, and they actually built a platform tailored after me, because they simply said, well, we don't have a lot of advisors doing this. And everything was based around their proprietary product. Same way with you. So that was, and I've told this story before. When I was working with an insurance agency pushing products, the president of the company made somebody stand up on a table to say, you didn't recruit X number of agents. I want you to stand on this table so everybody can see what a dumb you are. That was a meeting in Florida. That was it. Because he was 45 years old. I was 24, 25.
Yeah.
And I was the youngest manager they've ever had. And so it was like the wizard behind the curtain. They were real nice when you were selling and pushing, when you became a manager, because they made their money on the revolving door. And when that happened, I said, that's it.
Yeah.
And when I got home the next Monday, the assistant manager, I called him in. I said, you're now manager. Bye. And I left. But anyway, that was the inspiration. It is a conundrum.
It is a conundrum.
With the insurance broker-dealer.
But I think for, younger guys starting out, younger guys, younger gals, the conundrum is that those organizations give you a lot of great structure. They give you a lot of great sales training. and they give you they put
Yeah.
everything in a little box for you, and they help get you going. When you go independent or RIA, you become a victim of your own freedom, because you can do so much. You have so many decisions to make. People they squirrel and they go in 1,000 different directions. So
But-
you really need to know
Yeah.
exactly what you want, and how, like, at least for the next 5 years, what does the practice look like? So for me, when I was like, I'm like, I want 100 clients that pay me a fee every year, so I can get off the hamster wheel of constantly trying to find people to sell stuff to in order to generate new commissions to earn a living. I just want 100 people where I can give good quality advice, build relationships with, and advise them on the right thing with, tax and finances and estate planning and legal, and be able to steward them through the entire process, not spend 99% of my time trying to find new business because you sold them something that paid a commission up front and you reset back to zero. And that's just unfortunately what I was taught. Now, and I know the insurance-based broker-dealers have come a long way where they do have fee-based models now and the ability to build that stuff more so than 20 years ago when I was there. But that was the impetus for me, is like, I want to practice where I don't have to constantly just be running around trying to find new people all the time. I want 100 people. I want to just service them, and I want to just be able to have the freedom to do whatever is in their best interest and not be hamstrung because somebody in compliance somewhere doesn't understand something, so they have to make an arbitrary rule that says you can't, the whole company can't do this thing.
But for some advisors, because in the past I've had advisors, and we started out with a product, because if you open everything up, the total picture of financial planning is very, very broad.
Vast.
You've got to have knowledge of everything, almost, financially speaking. So starting out with a product, maybe whatever, life insurance, let's say, or an annuity. And
Well,
then,
I think I started, one of the best ways to ever start was 403Bs. And I think I got so lucky because I started I knew the 403B and I knew the 457 plan for North Carolina state employees. I knew it inside and out. And at 25 years old, I knew the product better than if I ran into you, a 25-year veteran, who, you know collectively way more than me, but I knew more about that one singular product that if you had a teacher that was your client, I would be telling you how the product worked, even though you have 25 more years experience, and that's where my credibility came. And I think that's one of the pros to having a super strict singular product focus to get going, because it builds your credibility, it builds your
knowledge in that
your knowledge base right there, and it gives you a way to acquire client acquisition.
And that's where I was going with that. Some advisors cannot make that transition from a product-based insurance, broker-dealer, whatever, to full-blown financial planning. They just can't do it. It's not for them. And that's nothing wrong with that. To your point, you could be a specialist in that one thing and know it inside and out.
Yeah.
But for some, they can't transition. For others, they want to. They want to expand their knowledge and how they help. So let's wrap it up with just a few tips for young advisors starting out. I would say, to your point, what you said earlier, learn taxes, because everybody pays taxes.
Yep. I would 100% learn the tax code and learn how to get a PTIN number and learn how to do basic 1040s. H&R Block has a course that you can take, or you can do the EA, but even doing the EA doesn't really teach you how to do taxes. You need to learn the practical experience, and I'm sure there's online courses. So I would learn, that's going to make you a stronger advisor with everything that you do. And that's also, Zach worked for me for a while. And part of the reason why I lost him is because exactly what I always told him. I told him, you want a designation that is not duplicative of mine. You want a designation, or you want a knowledge base that is complementary. So and it actually bit me in the butt, because he wound up going to work somewhere else, and because he had a designation that complemented another CFP, that was not in direct conflict with a CFP. It's a different skill set. So if you're younger and you're starting out and you're looking to pair with an older, a senior advisor, because that advisor needs a succession plan down the road, that could be the key. That could be the key to the hen house. Is, hey, you become an EA, you become a tax prep, you add a new element to that senior advisor's practice that they don't want to do. A 25, 30-year veteran doesn't want to start doing taxes. They're checked out. They don't want to start doing that stuff. But it is a great way to get your foot in the door in another practice and start working with older clients and establish immediate credibility. So, big believer in taxes.
Taxes is one. I would also say learn a succinct financial planning process.
Absolutely. That's the biggest issue with financial advisors is they don't know how to describe financial planning. So I break it down. For accumulators, if you're in accumulation phase, we focus on retirement, education, survivorship, RES, with taxes and investments are always the common thread with everything you do in financial planning. For the older decumulators, for retirees, we drill down for retirement, DRL. It's distribution optimization, it's risk management, and it's legacy planning. And legacy planning is the same as survivorship, except legacy is just more intentional. It's we know, like, survivorship planning when you're young is what happens if somebody dies. Legacy planning is not what happens, but when somebody dies, we want to be intentional with the ultimate disposition of your estate and plan for that. And then, of course, taxes and insurance are the common threads. You need to be able to describe what I just described succinctly, because that is going to allow somebody to say, a prospect's going to allow them to say, oh yeah, I need that. If you can't describe it, how the hell is somebody going to decide if they need your service or not?
Finally, I would say to the young advisors, just when you're trying to make a decision, should I do this broker-dealer? Should I do this product selling, RIA? Do I want to get into financial planning? Just listen to your gut and trust what
I think the kids, you know what they call it now? They call it the ick.
Ick.
They call it the ick. Yeah, if you're at a place and you're getting the ick, you feel like there's something just doesn't sit right. You probably know. You probably know the answer already, but just keep peeling back, keep asking questions, keep peeling back the layers of the onion, and it starts with, you need to know what you want and forget about 25 years from now. Where do you want to see your business in 5 years? And what is it? Is that an AUM-based business? Is it a fee-only business? Is it an advice-only business? Is it an insurance business? I think there's huge I go the opposite. I think there's actually a huge opportunity for somebody who says, I don't want to be a financial planner. I want to be a damn life insurance specialist. That's what I want to do. I want to sell life insurance. I want to be the best. I'm going to raise my hand and I'm going to be honest about it. I'm like, I am a life insurance specialist. This is what I do. Not cloak yourself in I'm a comprehensive, holistic financial planner, but then present a life insurance solution. Yeah. No, I want to be the best damn life insurance sales guy or sales planner that you've ever seen. And I think there is a place for you. And I think you'll be unbelievably successful.
All right. So learn taxes, get a true financial planning process, get it down pat, and then trust your gut. All right. We've covered a lot, my friend. When are we going to do another Truthful Mutual?
I don't know. I need to write a script. We need a premise for a script.
All right. Hey, that's you people out there in TV land that have seen our series Truthful Mutual. Give us some ideas. Give us a premise. We've lost a couple of characters, I think.
That's fine.
That's all right.
Judas.
We'll get us some more. All right. Thanks for joining, watching, listening to unsolicited. We'll see you next time. If you got value out of this, hopefully you did. Be
Probably
sure to
didn't.
follow, download, subscribe, like, all that wonderful stuff. We need more than 15 downloads.
Keith's got a really nice YouTube channel. Just subscribe to his. He's good.
No, check out Ruff's too.
Yeah.
All right, see you.
Next, let's go.
Next time. Bye.
Hard work really does come and pay off. Every day working, we don't really need no days off. It was a struggle, but thank God that we stand tall. Now we pulling up, looking strong like we gonna brawl. They be lucky if they standing on 10 toes. They don't know how we roll, but they gonna know.